Hi, I'm a loner. I spend most of my time indoor. Well, roughly 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. I only watch myself when I need to go out. I'm not seeing anyone anyway. If I ever need to go out, I'll make sure I'll avoid any possible conversations. I put my cap on and have my earphones ready, so I can pretend not to see or hear anyone I know. People aren't really my thing. And in fact, I don't have friends. Yeah, I know. This is Pooh. I love him because he agrees with every single thing I said and never talks back. When I'm bored, I play with my fingers or count my hair. Shit. I lost 11 today. Loner, shy, socially awkward. Being an introvert, I've been brought up to believe that these labels are considered as less good in our society. I used to believe that there was genuinely something wrong with me. I hated myself for not being able to be more outgoing, to talk more, or to have more friends than I had. I was ashamed of the fact that I wasn't sociable enough like everybody else. Now, if this resonates with you in any sense, I want to invite you down a journey of how and why I became this person today, who can truly enjoy spending time alone without feeling left out. I can chill and have a day off here by myself. Lovely. First off, I would never call anyone a loner. I don't like to use any kind of label to define a person because each one of us is just a very complicated individual. But for the sake of this video, let's check out the paper definition of loner, which always get misinterpreted a lot. According to Wikipedia, obviously, there are 3 types of loner. The first type includes individuals that are forced into isolation because they are or feel as though they are rejected by society. This individual typically experiences loneliness. A second type of loner includes those who like to be social and have many social interactions, but who can also spend extended periods of time in solitude without experiencing feelings of loneliness. Finally, a third type of loner often does not feel lonely when they are alone, at least not in the same way as a social person who found themselves forcibly isolated would. However, these are broad generalizations, and it is not uncommon for loners to experience both of these dimensions at some point. And therefore, a loner doesn't necessarily mean a person who's completely out of contact with the outside world or someone who hates people, but rather having a type of personality that needs slightly more time to be alone. For some reasons, loner has become a derogatory term. It has become a shame if you prefer to be alone most of the time or just enjoy spending time with yourself. And that was one of the many reasons that I hated myself for. I always felt the need to be with someone so I don't look as lonely or look like I'm a weirdo who nobody wants to hang out with me. I used to care so much how people think of me. And I spent years and years being a people pleaser, feeling the need to fit into a bunch of people. And to the point that I'd rather sacrifice my own values and worth just not to be alone. Though I might look like I'm not alone, I felt lonely as ever. I felt like if any minute my friends are leaving me alone in any occasion, I would be drowned with embarrassment and insecurity. And I would think people would look at me like, oh my gosh, this girl is on her own. She must be weird. She has no friends. She's a loser. I didn't like myself. I hated myself. I was at the place that I hated myself no matter what I did. Especially during college, I was studying in the UK where they have this heavy drinking, partying, or socializing culture, whatever you call it. The fear of being seen as an unsociable person is as real as ever. And this is where things started to change.
Life begins at the edge of your comfort zone.
I started to binge a bunch of TED Talk videos and YouTube videos focusing on self-love and growth. I was so desperate to find a way to change my personality completely.
Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you become it.
But in order to do this, I had to deny my whole personality, deny my 20 years of existence.
When you figure out how to be yourself, it's an incredibly liberating, untragic way to go through life. So you don't develop an identity that's predicated on being a patchwork personality. You're not a composite, an amalgam of all your experience and influences. You're not just somebody's boss or somebody's mum or anybody's anything. You're yourself.
Slowly, I realized that what I needed the most is to learn how to love myself for who I really am.
But introverts, you being you, you probably have the impulse to guard very carefully what's inside your own suitcase, and that's okay.
Confidence is actually tied with loving yourself. It's not just about changing your personality and denying your personality the whole time. Confidence comes from deep inside, and that requires you to learn about yourself, to accept who you are, and to truly love yourself. And that's also when I truly learned that there's nothing wrong with being alone or liking to have more personal time. And for me, at least, personal time is such an important time that needs to be protected. It's like having a deep conversation with myself, exploring and learning each and every little detail about myself. And just for myself.
But it does mean that solitude matters, and that for some people it is the air that they breathe.
Now I stopped trying too hard to fit in. I don't compromise my own values in order to please anyone. I know what I like and what I don't like doing. Anyway, this is longer than I expected. It's almost the same height as my fridge, as you can see. I feel like shopping in a supermarket is super healing. And it's also funny how, like, I think about it, I really love shopping on my own because I feel this pressure, like, because I have this weird habit of going to sections that I don't really need to go. For example, I'm not even buying sauces, but I just love going there and then see what the choices are. And I might get one or two if I like them and try out new things. That's how I am shopping. I usually want to spend time in this supermarket by myself, and maybe with some music. I learned to respect myself. I try to put myself first when making decisions, instead of thinking what I should do in order to make other people happy. I stopped blaming myself for who I really am. I love how I can be quiet and super talkative when I feel like. I love how observant I am, that I can see little details people wouldn't notice. I love how I need time to recharge by spending time alone. In no sense that I'm saying everyone must enjoy spending time alone all the time. I too love socializing, meeting new people, and have meaningful conversations. I just want people to know that it's okay to take a step back whenever you feel the need to be alone. Shy or not, loner or not, outgoing or not. You don't have to be ashamed of your own personality, of how you feel, of what you truly enjoy doing, and of whom you want to spend time with. I suddenly want to eat a hero. Even if that's just yourself.